Yeah, because there's some people who have like
Okay.
Oh, no, I don't
Getting
spend, like,
round 3
tokens
started as the
worth,
players are
yeah,
setting up their
like
mats.
millions of dollars and like, or whatever.
Yeah, no.
Maybe not millions.
The most
Several
valuable
thousand.
token I have is like $20.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Half an hour. Set a timer for 30 minutes.
Thank you. I actually probably could have won, but I forgot to confront him.
Adorable EV mat.
He had one at this problem, and it was like.
And old school finalist mat.
There's room here.
So tired, and then I didn't.
Where's the people commentating?
No, they're probably his home right now.
Oh.
Wait, who's actually commentating?
Yeah,
Matt.
just Matt? I don't know.
Hi Thomas. Hi Pinky.
Just Matt.
That's
I
weird.
thought we were gonna have Leo, but apparently not.
Oh, that sucks.
Well, we can at least get the score up for these guys.
Yeah.
Have you done?
I said that I would not do it solo.
No, but didn't you? I thought. Have you ever? I thought you did pair with.
I did pair with a number of people.
Okay.
I've been on street. I've done commentary.
Alright, and we're
twice.
going to see Thomas running his staple AJ farming deck,
Yeah, you always
and Pinky likely running Hot Wings.
I did it once with Bugle, and I think I did it once with like Grandpa's or something like that. I can't remember who it was.
I forget who's doing it for Gen Con. Were you maybe gonna? Because you're gonna be home, but I don't know if you're busy. I'm gonna be running camp. No. You're gonna be at running camp, but no, I mean next week.
This ought to be a fun one. Of the two Hot Wings decks, Blazin does have a stronger matchup against farming, though it generally has a worse matchup against control. And Thomas has been running farming AJ for a long time, with small variations here and there.
You would also have to get up like.
Most
8 hours
recently,
earlier than you normally
he
do.
ended up taking first place in the Harmony tournament at Pacific BronyCon earlier this year.
I have no idea
I
actually.
have to finish moving, so.
Oh, yeah,
I
right.
think, but I think I'm doing that like the day after. Where's Adam?
I will go with you
Don't.
I will
have
go
we
with you.
started round yet?
to decide who goes first.
Have we started the round timer yet?
7.
Alright.
Okay.
6. All right, I'm on the play.
Rock Slide is a starting problem, a little more traditional starting problem from AJ. Means it doesn't have to rely as much on its events. So likely what we're going to try to see here is, since Luna is going first, an aggressive mulligan to try to get the turn 2 DFO to get off of Rock Slide.
This is action tokens, and if I run out of these, because I forgot to bring a lot of them, I'll use. Okay. Yeah. I mean, these
So
all
probably
garbage,
going to be
so-
mulliganing for Angel Wings plus Hasty Friend, if possible.
Thing.
Or at least Angel Wings plus
We can just
Pinkie Pie.
we can face in different directions. Face yours upwards, and I'll face mine down. That way we won't get them mixed up.
But this is definitely going to be an interesting match.
So as long as we don't like throw them, we can still find them easily.
Thomas's best bet here is going to be to try to lock down the problems.
Nice card. Oh, yeah, anyways.
It's mediocre.
We'll
I know.
see how these opening hands
I
look.
don't have any ultra rares either, but I might buy one when I go.
I think he does have the Angel Wings.
But I'm just gonna buy one, and it'll be like that's all I'm gonna.
Berry Punch and Orange Swirl, just a
It
Soren
depends. Some of them are like.
would not be
they're
quite
going
enough.
Between 50 and like. 200
However,
something,
with-
but that's only ultra rare. It goes up to like.
I think
legendary
he
and
is
level
actually
2. And that's when you get
potentially
into 4 digits.
capable
Like,
of doing this.
No thanks. All right.
Looking at his hand, trying to decide.
I will. Keep
He's got the Wonderbolts wrap.
Alright,
It's a good start.
I will start us off naming pink, gain 2 AT, and pass turn.
Okay.
Okay.
Thomas is going to start
Yeah, you might want to do that.
drawing a card and probably a traditional turn 1 double trouble. It's going to be, yep, Starlight Glimmer over to Trading Traditions and Lord Tyrek over to Rock Slide. So what Pinky is looking for here is a Hasty Friend. That is not a Hasty Friend, but a cardboard box is a pretty good start. Now he's looking over everything he's got here, trying to figure out if he can find a way to get this DFO.
That's a problem. Why would you want to do this now? I don't want to do anything. Have to. don't have to do anything. You can just keep passing. It's fine.
He's debating if he wants to flip Luna here. He has the ability to flip Luna, but not the ability to start the DFO.
What's the best play?
I'll do it when I get it. Well, I have one.
Could move up Luna, play Soren, play Wonderbolt's Wrap, then play Angel Wings to flip Luna. Okay, so he does actually have the ability to DFO here. It's just kind of awkward. He has to move up Luna to Rock Slide.
1, 2.
No, where does he move Luna? He can move Luna to Rock Slide.
Sorry, I'm
No, is that correct? He moves Luna to Trading Traditions, then he plays Soren over to Rock Slide so that he can play Wonderbolt's Wrap to reduce the cost of Angel Wings by 2, to play Angel Wings to Trading Traditions, to play Berry Punch and Orange Swirl over to Rock Slide, and then Soren eats Angel Wings. So he does have the ability to DFO. We'll just have to see if he can spot it.
Probably yell at me though.
really is no good way to do this. Whatever. This is such a bad move. 2 to move. Can't even play that. No, I'll play this instead.
Something you can play with 0 AT?
Oh. I had 2 to move. I had 4
Oh,
to.
I'm sorry. I'm insane.
That's fine. No problem.
I'm insane.
Spend 2 less.
What is this? Is this a new card?
It is a new card. Have you not seen the new set?
No.
Oh, wow.
Is that embarrassing?
Not really. It's just kind of interesting.
I used to play a lot, but I kind of didn't.
That makes sense.
All my friends nearby stopped playing.
When I play a card,
Oh, you can pay. So the next card you play is
Yeah,
gonna be
2
like
less.
free. So you
Yeah,
can play another card.
this flips. as well.
Oh, it flips for.
When I play a friend.
That's really easy.
Yeah.
Um,
When you play a friend to that ball and you move that card to your problem.
That's fine. Mistake
Oh,
number
okay.
1.
To that problem. So, yeah.
Cheese
Gotcha.
can't
Sorry. I'm kind of rusty.
So it looks like Pinky did miss
That's a good
the
idea, but I'm gonna play this
the
here.
DFO.
What up?
Score face.
So good,
Score
so
point.
good.
Yep.
Go ahead.
He's going to go ahead and get that point, though.
I guess I shouldn't play friend.
And we'll put him on the board. Now Angel Wings is going to be frightened.
Play a friend after.
That's right.
That's fine.
Challenge. Flips.
3 problems is so much harder to
Got
cover
it.
than 2 problems.
Okay. Beats Lord Tyrek.
But my hand is so good. Sad.
AJ now at 5 power. Now there is the cardboard box in hand, which is almost certainly going to be
It's okay, I
a
had
play on Pinky's next turn. AJ is not going to be able to confront this turn, of course, because Rock Slide is going to require alternate color. And keep the Troublemaker wall coming. Now 2 barrel throughs in hand
We're gonna play this game.
are going to make sure that AJ would be able to win the face-off, even if he is sitting in a cardboard box.
Card. Shit, that doesn't really matter that much.
So I think that's a Spitfire.
Can't challenge. I mean, could. There's really no reason to.
Strongest one right
She's
Just
not
trying
going
to play
to.
now.
Alright, I'm gonna pay 1. Let's put a box on that thing. Get box!
Sorry about the language there.
Applejack doesn't like it.
Yeah!
Who would you like to fight? Sorry. Okay.
That is, well, I could score a point.
Yeah.
What was this? Oh, shoot.
You choose which trigger order
Just trying to remember
you would like to
Yep, that Angel Wings is so impactful when she first comes down, and then, apart from providing that color requirement, doesn't do a whole lot beyond that point.
There's no point.
I will bank 2 and pass turn.
Yeah.
I have 2 belly flops. Although now you know I have no belly flops.
I don't even know what that card does. Yay. Okay.
Okay, Martyric again. He is still going to be flipping 2 cards.
Had to give me buffs. I could still rock slide. I'm gonna go for it. A little risky, but I'm gonna do it.
Gotta go fast.
Looks like he is down by 1. He is going to force him to use a barrel through. Flip that extra card. Ooh, Popping Corn gone. That's actually something Hollings is pretty glad to see.
Sir, unrelevant power.
I don't even need this.
But it's just this.
Your turn.
Alright. Logging 3.
Alright, so, in this particular position, AJ's content to pretty much keep farming as long as she can. And the question is, does he want to drop the Nightmare Moon? Nightmare Moon is going to be tricky, especially since he knows he'd be giving up one of his extra flips. Appaloosa's not going to do a whole lot for him right now, though, and Flim and Flam, like, he may want to try to drop the Flim and Flam first, but he can't do both in this turn. So he could spend 2... He is going to go ahead and just play Flim and Flam. And it's a little bit of an awkward play, just because there's going to be so many ways that Hotwings has to deal with Flim and Flam.
Sorry?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
you got it. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said.
No, I said okay.
Okay. Okay. I thought you said. Sorry.
Right, good?
Yep.
All right.
And moving that power onto Flim and Flam.
This will probably be fine.
Um,
I don't know.
I want to challenge that.
I can flip
Okay.
shitty cards. I say that.
2, 5.
Okay. So he's currently at 1 power versus the 9.
Home you go.
Yep. And that wouldn't have quite done it. So Soren will go back home. I think he's sitting on a decent number of AT here.
5, 18. Don't have that right now. Right here.
Couple dilemmas in hand. Good ways of getting around these troublemakers, and he knows that AJ's not going to be able to farm next turn. He could try to set up to confront with, like, Buckball,
Well, there goes the barrel trade, though. That's kind of important.
or even T-Rex Reign of Terror. Really, he's looking for a retire engine if he can find one. If he can get rid of that clipped wings on Soren, or if he can play another Soren, then he's got Berry Punch and Orange Swirl to be able to steal Flim and Flam, which will allow him to play around Appaloosa, and that may have been what Thomas was planning on doing, was waiting to play the Nightmare Moon until he got as much value out of his current hand as possible. Looks like he is going to go ahead and T-Rex right now, though, for 1 AT.
I don't even have any one.
It's going up.
He's going to pay 1.
1. Berry Punch. Let's. Do I want it? Is it a friend? It is friend. Okay, I'll take it. No, I'm not. I'm taking control of it, not fighting it.
Oh, it's control?
Yeah.
Go on that side. Yep.
Then I'll pay 1 for Wonderful Swap, paying 2 less for a friend this turn.
Okay.
And then I'll go to Score Face, score a point, fried in this.
There's a reason to add
And then, oh yeah, score point.
Lose its control when
draw a
fighting?
card on the next turn.
Huh? That's a good question. I don't think so.
Also, this
Good.
is not a nightmare.
Cheese. Do you know if a friend gets frightened, does it lose control? It's being controlled and it gets frightened.
It becomes a new card, and it reverts
Yeah,
back.
that's what I thought. Okay.
It doesn't change the state at all. I was
Okay,
curious.
my turn?
Then I'll pay 1, which is 2 less to play that. Move that over here.
Okay.
Yep,
Yeah,
and there's
for one.
Spitfire. So turn, I got 2 confront, which is going to start a DFO.
You flip here, I think.
Oh yeah.
But I don't think it matters.
Yeah.
You've got 0, I've got.
I've got 9. I've got 9.
11.
I don't got 0. Okay.
Yeah,
I still got 9. Come on, man.
get a point.
Skip me. Skip me down.
That's fair.
Yep.
These go home.
Here we go.
So that's going to be another 1 point for Hot Wings. And that's going to tie the score here, 4-4.
So it's Twister.
Yeah, that Berry Punch and Orange Swirl grabbing the Flim and Flam was really
Okay.
like kind of unfortunate timing. He probably would have rather done that with another more valuable friend, but he just needed that 1 extra power at Tyrix Ring of Terror to be able to confront and then frighten Flim and Flam, no matter where Flim and Flam was. Okay, so now with Flim and Flam there, well, now he's got a Carbo Loader in hand, though, and Carbo Loader might be something he wants to hold on to, just because that is going to help him out pretty dramatically.
You're not flipping 2, by the way.
Oh yeah. Well, I put the nightmare mode.
But he is now sitting here with no troublemakers to challenge. Oh, and he does need to replace his problem, of course. Next problem is going to be Desperate Times, so that would give him an extra flip during troublemaker face-offs there,
Now doing really
but of course is not going to allow him to
I get
confront.
1 point for and 1 from that.
I think you'll be fine.
Yeah, at this point, I think Thomas really has to decide how much time is he willing to give Hot Wings to just kind of save up here.
It was just a nightmare star that I didn't care about.
8 power required to confront Desperate Times is a pretty steep barrier, and Pinky's only going to be gaining 3 AT next turn, and he's already used a Wonderbolt Trap, and he's already used an Angel Wings.
Is that 2 or less power? That happens first.
He's got the color requirement to be able to play the Carbo Loader, just debating whether or not he actually wants to do so. And it looks like he's going to go ahead and say no, and just move AJ up to Desperate Times. Now this is a little risky, because he's getting rid of one of his extra flip events. He could draw into more if he's running more of them. Pinky's going to be at 3 AT here. He doesn't have a huge amount of cards in hand. It looks like a Pinkie Pie and a Buckball Championship, perhaps. Might want to play the Dilemma if he fears the Nightmare Moon. If he doesn't fear the Nightmare Moon, then drawing more cards is honestly fine, especially since any hasty cards can be played before Nightmare Moon would force them to be discarded.
Oh, but it has 3 bonus.
Hang on.
That's the only.
Play Pinkie Pie. Moving up Luna. And then AT to Q marker.
Looks like he's just going to go ahead and try to get some confronting value out of this.
Score point.
No, I didn't. Sonic power flip.
So that's 5-4 now in favor of Pinky, still gaining 3 AT per turn. Ooh, a Clipped Wings gone. That's a little awkward. And he's definitely going to need to uncover that Troublemaker. There it is. There's the Nightmare Moon, so the hands are gone.
Discarding Buckball. What are you discarding?
Appaloosa, Barrel Through, Carbo Loader, and Clipped Wings being discarded. He draws into a new 3. Thomas draws into a new 3 as well. Iron. Okay, so Bailout, Carbo Loader, and Iron Will. Carbo Loader's a great draw for him here, but I don't think he wants to challenge.
Yeah.
0v7, even with 2 flips, is pretty rough. But it looks like he's going to go ahead and do so. Flips a 2. And a 4 and a 3 is not enough, so that's going to send him home. And that's going to be a large AT investment to get back up there now. And that is kind of the risky move.
Hasperaitis.
And we weren't able to quite see what Pinky's got in hand. Okay, it looks like a T-Rex Reign of Terror, a Hasty Cadence, and a Spitfire. So he's sitting pretty in terms of being able to play. though likely he's going to hope he just doesn't get the T-Rex discarded. The best possible discard here is to hit Spitfire. If Spitfire is discarded by Nightmare Moon, then he can spend 1 AT to play T-Rex Reign of Terror, he can confront It's a Twister, and then he can play Hasty Cadence and cause the DFO and waste even more AT. So, let's have a look. Random discard, gonna go ahead and roll a die.
I don't mind. I'm just saying, like, you have blackmail.
Okay, that's unfortunate. It was really the one card he kind of didn't want to hit. Very Punch Orange Swirl can eventually be good.
I think that was a bad plan. I don't know. I thought I might get lucky.
That's fair.
Now with no Appaloosa though, there's a good amount of protection here, and Thomas might just be saving that 1 AT for the bailout, so he does have the option to say... He does have the option to say that he just doesn't want Pinky to DFO, if he chooses. Although he'd likely discard the Iron Will if that were the case, and then he'd basically be guaranteeing that he, well, a 50-50 chance he'd lose the Carburetor. Pinky's up to 6 now, gaining 4 AT a turn. So Thomas is going to gain 4 AT.
Oh, I can't do a character. I'll do it.
Let me think.
Just debating if he wants to go for that face-off, or the confront.
Super exhausted. So it's kind of weird because it exhausts twice, and that's kind of hard to remember. So I guess you could tip it.
Yeah.
Sliding.
Sure.
I don't know.
I'll play a Hasty Friend.
Oh.
What purpose?
So I'll still get my point. Not good.
It's a lot of text.
Yeah. Hasty Experience has +1 power for each card at the same name discard pile. Hasty is looking to play Hasty. In this play, I might discard a card to find a friend. You don't have a friend.
We'll have to see if we can get them to pause this, because Thomas did play a bailout, and he needs to
A lot of stuff.
discard a card,
No problem.
and has not done so yet, though he did pay the AT.
I was thinking, is it possible for me to win any of these face-offs anymore?
And this is kind of relevant.
0. Because I can, I've done it before. Yeah, so like if I fight this...
So we'll have to see if they can adjust that in time.
Oh shoot, I got it.
And he also needs to discard for Nightmare Moon, because that was also not discarded.
So, just go ahead and say those flipped, and I'll do that. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5.
No purpose.
So you're losing by 1.
Not enough.
Gain.
Not working. I'm just getting beating my head against the brick.
It's in the middle of a tournament. There are lots of mistakes that are made, fairy cards.
Alright.
Okay,
The brick
I was
wall
like,
must break.
okay, this is an unfortunate move.
Yeah.
And who will you frighten?
No one.
Draw a card.
Roll in the face off.
3 cards in hand.
Oh yeah. This is 6.
So this one?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. It's kind of annoying. No, I'm not complaining there. I don't really feel like dealing with Nightmare Moon. Okay to draw. That's actually useful. I will pay 2 to play Gabby.
Alright. Now Gabby is a great drop here for Pinky, because that's going to allow him to basically keep his hand full, even with Nightmare Moon here.
And pass turn. Well, end of my turn, draw 2 cards. Now pass turn.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna confront the
Alright. Random discard here.
6.
That's a 6. Last card. Varmint Barricade.
Yes, you want to. They both have to go again. Sad life.
Alright. 2.
So Rutherford finally manages to beat
Throw through the
Nyman
brick
there.
wall.
Nice.
Not that it matters.
It's okay, now the fun bombs are both gone.
Okay.
It's going to tie the game at 7-7, but I still don't think Thomas has drawn any other troublemakers yet. No, just holding out of the Iron Will and the Carbo Loader.
I really needed that to happen.
No, what though?
And that eccentric from Pinkie Pie might surprise him if he's not watching that.
I don't know.
Please. Thanks, Jesus. Even better. I will have to
Confronting that, right?
I'm currently confronting that.
And confronting at desperate times is not going to be possible. Thomas doesn't run any purple friends in his deck. He's simply using that problem for the extra flip turn troublemaker face-offs. Now Iron Will here is going to be 3 power. It's going to shut off some abilities, but that's not really going to be that relevant apart from shutting off the eccentric.
Pass.
And since he didn't move power counters over, that means he's not starting the face-off. Nightmare Moon's gone, so Pinkie doesn't have to worry about that. And he is capable
one point at a time.
of confronting, I believe, here.
It's a bit annoying.
Alright, discard one card. Take 2.
They want to draw. That's good. That's just friends, right? Main character stealth abilities. Yeah. Yeah. That works. I will.
He's got the Angel Wings and a Soren. That could definitely give him enough power. Yeah, Soren's going to be a good play here. Could retire, like, the Berry Punch.
Control that, and then feed it to Soren.
There you go. Gets rid of Flim and Flam. Puts him at 6 power here.
3, 4, 5, 6 currently there.
Just needs a little bit more. Could definitely eat a friend at home for the extra 2 power.
3 T-Bank currently. Yeah, okay. Go to score face. Confront here. Okay, 2 18. Play Cadence.
There's Cadence to move Luna over.
I'm gonna move it
Now
in.
that's kind of an interesting choice instead of
Front.
using Soren again.
Go up to 11.
So that's going to bring Pinkie up to 11.
Everything goes home. Dude, I'll flip.
Problem's going to change here. Fire One Ready is a great one to see, especially with Equalist Propaganda now up on
And then I have to retire to home limit.
on Thomas's side, because he probably wants to get rid of that problem.
Actually, I have a question now. Does inner turn trigger, like, so inner turn or retire, which one comes first?
End of turn.
Okay,
End of turn triggers, then wrap up step.
okay. So inner turn, I'll draw a card off of Gabby. Wrap up step, I will retire Spitfire, letting me draw a card. And where's my other Spitfire? I retire Spitfire, letting me draw a card. And
Really
then
dig him
five
to see what he can find here.
1, 2, that's less power. Bye-bye, Orange Swirl. I don't need that anymore. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And give it
Panic
that.
Jack counts for fright.
Good.
Yeah.
No 18.
Okay.
Currently.
Now it would be rather trivial here for Pinkie to be able to get a single confront. Territory of Fire When Ready out is normally a great way to get that large burst point total,
Go away. But
but
and it like makes this.
isn't able a whole lot here. I think I missed a point on Thomas's side.
Yeah.
I did. There's a Carbo Loader.
Actually, I think I have. I have exactly this.
And that's a risky play. I'm not sure I would have actually done that.
Got reaction, sorry.
Oh, no, I know 18. I have no reactions. You're good.
Oh,
I forgot no 18. Alright. You good? Alright, I will gain 5 action tokens.
That's going to bring Thomas up to 9. And now he's presented the opportunity for Pinky to actually start a DFO here.
Let's see. Oh, you're currently confronting that.
And with a Night Glider, he'd definitely be able to do so.
I think I have a plan. I have a plan.
I don't know. I don't like plans.
5 AT.
I'm gonna pay 2 AT. I can't score more than 3 points a turn. That's actually wrong. I'm not gonna pay 2 AT.
He's thinking about cracking that fire when ready.
Plans are not
I'm
gonna
behind, so that's not. Kind of don't like that.
Yeah, that's true.
Cracking that fire is not a bad option here, although that does give Thomas just an extra flip from Carburetor being at home.
I think it's
Though with no characters of problems, it likely wouldn't make a big difference.
Oh, I had to be fine. Well, actually, it would have made a difference. Just equal fucking perfect game is there. No, it wouldn't have made a difference. Oh, no,
I'm waiting for the moment where I still lose.
that's a bad. Okay. Teamwork, yeah, it's only there, right? Teamwork only works there.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine.
Sorry, which name? Justin over there.
Pay 2 AT? Angel Wings. Next card costs 2 less. Moving.
Angel Wings coming out there. Strong 3 AT still left
Yeah,
for Pinky.
5.
Question is, what does he want to play here? The answer might be Pinkie Pie Holiday Spirit. Could be Night Glider. Night Glider would likely be a pretty good choice.
Yeah.
It would get him up to 14 at least.
That's 5 power.
Night Glider's almost certainly the correct decision here.
Play Night Glider?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I'm not paying AT here. Pay 2 AT to move Soren.
He definitely wants to make sure he gets this trigger. If he can get a single confront off, he's going to start that DFO.
Alright, so you got 6. Am I winning by 5 or more? I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah.
Yes, and with that 2 flip, that's definitely...
7, 8, 9, yeah.
Yeah, so he's definitely got that by more than
Fortunately,
5.
I only scored 2 points instead of 3. Put me at 14.
That is going to put him at 14. He just needs that single confront to be able to wrap up the game.
Yeah, I was at 11, score 1 point for confront,
Oh, okay.
and score 1 point, and then score 1 point off of that turn. And that's all I can do. Otherwise, I would have won the game. Correct.
That's quote unquote.
Another
all I
rock
can do.
slide
I'm winning.
is definitely not the problem that Thomas wanted to see, but at least Fire One Ready's out and does have the ability to replace that, so I think he's going to choose to get rid of Pinkie Pie.
I'll get rid of Pinkie Pie. And
Gonna have to get rid of something else as well. Yep, gets rid of Cadence.
my trigger word.
Has more than 4 cards in hand, so he's not going to be drawing like Gabby. And we'll have to see if Thomas spots the right play here, or if he has a Popping Corn in hand. Popping Corn isn't a bad option. Though, of course, the issue with that is Pinky can simply choose to move up Soren and eat multiple friends at home, and that would force Thomas to have a bailout.
Pretty much Yeah, you pretty much got this. For funsies, I'm gonna keep trying.
Sounds good.
What's for black?
Yeah, might be dead. I mean, we would have been just stalled.
Okay, moves up Iron Will. Plays a Queen Chrysalis Identity Theft, choosing to copy...
Sure, you got it.
Copies Night Glider.
No, I should have 5 AT.
No, you
Confronts for a point.
No AT.
Okay, that's fine.
Because I didn't spend that one.
Goes up to 10. Valiant attempt, but just not quite enough.
Game 5 AT. Draw a card.
I need to start taking precautions.
Not Yeah, I can just win. But
Any two cost friend will do it. Angel Wings will definitely do it. There you go.
Cost 2
Pose
less.
Luna.
Move over Luna. And just because it's funny, I'm going to put another cardboard box on it.
And Applejack is really inside the cardboard box now.
See about the fact that you're playing against Orange?
Alright, let's go to score phase. Score 1 point.
No.
There's already a bunch on here.
Actually, this doesn't have effects, so I don't, because of that. But yeah.
I don't want that one in your hand.
Okay, and that'll do
Play
it.
with it for perpetuity.
15 to 10
Doesn't fight anything.
2 cardboard
in
boxes.
favor of Pinky.
Sorry, I say. That was like salting the wound.
I had it, I had to play it.
There's no
You had to.
Cardboard box won me my farming game as well.
Get that card.
He was running Applejack wins, so it was basically like
Wait, this how many farming is there?
a lot more than I was expecting.
Wait, I'm glad I put it in cardboard box. I was only gonna put it in 1 cardboard box, but I was like, wait, I should just put it in 2.
Challenge.
Farming.
How much resource dismissal did you have in the
That I
deck?
typed the ever
What?
vigilant
How much resource dismissal did you have?
Very little.
I see.
Less than I should have. I have some epiphanies.
Yeah, I'm assuming you have Epiphany.
Yeah. I took a. It's hard because I have them, but then I play all these decks that don't really do anything to it, and I'm like, oh man, I don't need all this resource dismissal. I'm wasting, you know.
Yeah.
And then this happens. And
It's
then
unfortunate that I put
it's hard. It's hard. Like,
Hard life.
good game.
Good game.
I think I made horrible. I don't think I should have.
I'm not sure what else you had in your hand, but the odds of winning against you got it eventually, but it took you so long that it set you way far
You don't
behind.
think I should have beat my head against that?
Well, I don't know how many resource dismissal you had.
2.
Just 2. Okay, then you probably don't want to dig for it
Yeah.
because having the cardboard box makes everything hard.
Makes it very hard.
But if you get rid of that, then it's trivial again. I would probably still have dug because you were spending 2 AT turn, and I don't know how you could have gotten like a barrel through, and that would also give you a much better shot.
Yeah. That's why I think that Nightmare Moon was bad because I discarded my barrel throw, and it also discarded Appaloosa. Not that that matters.
Yeah.
Okay. Protect my Flim Fire.
I
You could have, because you could have moved AT from AJ over,
No,
but
then I can't be dismissed by that problem,
Forgotten.
or frightened by that.
yeah.
There's that problem. I forget what it's called.
Yeah, and
That's how I put Appaloosa.
I would still
just
be able to
protect
take control of it anyways.
Oh yeah, you got.
So it wouldn't actually protect it. It would protect it against my removal, but I can still take control of
Very
it.
good deck you got there.
Yeah, it's,
It's
no, it was.
Alright, so that's round 3 complete. So far we've seen 2 AJ farming decks, a mod white control deck, and 2 copies of Hot Wings Blazon,
Yeah, no, because I only need 3 points.
too hot.
I'm afraid to
yeah, it's
and an Octavia blue
probably the
deck.
best aggro deck currently. I'm not sure if it's